Q Talks with Liz Bailey. Our access to audio programmes are sponsored by Impact Funding Partners, the R.S. McDonald Charitable Trust and the Suter Charitable Trust. To find out more about how to access our services, visit CueAndReview.com or email aaatl@CueAndReview.com. This programme was produced and presented by our Access to Audio Ambassador team leader, Liz Bailey, and edited by our Recruitment Training Officer, Alistair McPhee.
Hi, today I'm being joined by Lorraine Moyer and Graham Branscombe from Eastern Berkshire Voluntary Action, better known as EDVA. So hi to you guys.
Hi.
Graham's on holiday. It's a lovely background.
I'm in Millport. It's nice to speak to you from sunny Millport on the west coast of Scotland.
Well, it does look very nice. Okay, first of all, Lorraine, can you just tell us a little bit about how things have been going for you, volunteering, and how lockdown has affected things for you?
Okay, so lockdown changed everything that I did. Previously, everything I did would have been one-to-one, face-to-face, signing people up to volunteer based on their skills, etc. And then lockdown happened and I couldn't do that anymore. And it became apparent that there was going to be a lot of need in local areas, and everywhere is different, as you know. So local knowledge and community were going to be key. So we set about connecting in with some of the groups that were already existing. So there was a lot of neighbourhood stuff going on. So we linked in with them, and we also set up some new groups where there weren't any. So we set up volunteer teams throughout Eastern Berkshire. OPO, which is the Eastern Berkshire Advice Line, they were the helpline. You could phone them if you needed any assistance with shopping or prescriptions, or if you needed advice. So you could phone them, and they then sent the referrals through to EDVA, and we then allocated them to the appropriate volunteer team in that person's area. So it was challenging, to say the least. It was extremely busy. We were getting like up to 30 referrals every single day. So it was a really, really busy time. We also had connections in with the shielding team, so that if they came across anything that EDVA could help with, then we helped with some of that as well. And we also supported the volunteer teams with funding. Obviously, some people don't do digital banking, so couldn't pay for their shopping. And at the beginning, nobody was touching cash. So we set up funding, and we gave them cards for the stores, for the supermarkets, so that they could buy the shop and people could pay back when they could get access to cash, or their family sometimes helped out with that. So the Scottish Government had given all the third sector interfaces, which EDVA is, had given us all some funding because they knew that it was going to be a challenging time. And so supporting the third sector for a lot of what happened was around volunteering and supporting the volunteer teams. And we were really lucky, actually. The volunteer teams all kind of came together really quickly, and we were able to react very quickly, so that nobody really went without anything. Now, further down the line, as lockdown eases, we still have some requests for shopping and prescription collection, but we're also getting requests for volunteer drivers, so to take patients to doctor surgeries. So these would be non-COVID patients. The surgery would triage everything, and then a volunteer driver would help out with that. We've also got some volunteer drivers helping take vulnerable children to the school hubs, which are still open. So there's lots of things happening. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next. Nobody knows what the landscape's going to look like. Are we going into another lockdown? Will things go back to normal? Nobody really knows what's going to happen. So we're trying our best to be prepared. So some of the groups have been chatting to Graham about becoming constituted groups, so that gives them access to additional funding, and so on and so forth. So we're doing our best to be prepared. We also appreciate that some people who have been shielding, so they've been stuck in for 4.5 months, might be afraid to go back out because they don't know what it looks like anymore. So, you know, there's the opportunity for volunteer buddy schemes where you can buddy up with somebody who meet you and take you into the supermarket and explain, you know, what's been going on and how things look, what things look like now, basically. So there's loads of opportunities. We don't really know what they all are going to be yet, but you know, the volunteer teams are really coming together and developing well, and yeah, nothing short of a wee miracle actually. It's gone relatively smoothly, you know.
It sounds like you're still really busy despite the fact that everything's kind of shut down, so that's fantastic. Got a lot going on.
Yeah, we do, and we anticipate it continuing to be quite busy. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. So it's been an interesting, challenging time, but it's been good. The days passed quickly.
Yeah. So Graham, can you tell us about some of the projects you're involved in? First of all, can you tell us about Better Briggs? What exactly is that? Better
Briggs is the concept really of a community group getting together and looking to, I suppose, trying to work towards making Bishopbriggs town centre a sort of better place to stay. And it was a shame because it started off and we opened up the old Clydesdale Bank as a community hub. And within, I think it was just a week before lockdown, and it's been closed ever since, which was a real sort of shame in that sense. But they have been very active in the sense of they're online, they're having meetings every week, and they're pushing really to try and open up Bishopbriggs and to try and have some kind of community involvement within the redesign of Bishopbriggs. The good news, I suppose, really recently is that the city deal has been signed off by the full council, and it's estimated that there will be about a £30 million investment within Bishopbriggs over the next, I don't know how many years, but obviously that's going to take some years. I think the council have committed to £4.5 million, and I think the city deal is now going to invest something in £30 million. So hopefully we'll see a real renovation, and I suppose Bishopbriggs is beginning to really look tired with the empty shops and things like that. So this is really Better Briggs as a community group, I suppose, trying to actively have some kind of influence in what happens to this town centre.
Well, that sounds like a really good idea because, yeah, it does kind of, you know, it's been a bit quieter in Bishopbriggs town centre the last few years. So, yeah, that sounds like it's something that definitely is needed. So can you tell us a little about your other project? It's the giant red phone box. Is that what it's called? Have I said that right?
Yes, it's been through a few name changes. I think it started off the big red phone box, but they have now become a company limited by guarantee, and the name of it is the giant red phone box. And really it's the concept of a chap called John Dixon who owned Poppies many years ago in Bishopbriggs town centre.
Oh yeah, I know Poppies.
So
yeah.
he is a businessman within Eastern Berkshire, and really what happened was they had put forward a design and a drawing towards a competition with the Future Towns Design Competition, which received in excess of 50% of the voting. And from that idea came the idea of this giant red phone box. And really it is, I suppose, it's a very ambitious project, and it's really about celebrating the heritage of Kirkintilloch, because I don't know if you know, but 90% or something of phone boxes that were manufactured from the foundries in Kirkintilloch, the Lion Foundry, and I think the other one was the Star Foundry as well. So this is a real ambitious project, and it's really designed and in competition, we hope at some point to be in with the Helix and the Kelpies, which is a massive big tourist attraction through Falkirk. And the idea really is to build a telephone box, something really about 50 metres high, so we'd have a cinema, a cafe, offices, maybe a museum.
Wow.
Celebrating the history of Kirkintilloch as well. It'll have a visitors experience, and it's all down close to the Luggy Park where the foundry was originally. I'm not from Kirkintilloch, so I'm not 100% up on the history and the heritage of the area, but I do know that the foundry was down in that area, and that's what they're trying to do. Now, if you do go on and Google the giant red phone box or the big red phone box, you'll have some kind of idea. You'll see the design that won, and it'll give you some indication of really the size of the project. And it really is quite a real ambitious, probably the most ambitious thing in Kirkintilloch for a long time. And what it's trying to do is to try and get people into Kirkintilloch and again to reinvent the area and bring it back to what it was maybe a few decades ago, where it was a bustling town, proud of its heritage.
It sounds like a great idea, actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing that when it's done. We've lost Lorraine for some reason, so but we'll carry on. I don't know what happened there. Can you just let us know then, if anyone was interested in that or anything that you're involved in, how could they get in touch with you? What are your contact details?
Well, Eastern Berkshire Voluntary Action is a government-funded organisation. I suppose what we are there is to provide support to third sector organisations and community, for example.
There's Lorraine back now. Hi, Lorraine. We lost you for a second there.
Yeah. I've got some internet issues today.
Oh, well, these things happen.
Lorraine knew I was going to speak. That's why she disappeared.
So anyway, Graham, you were just giving us...
all before, probably. Yeah. Dulcet tones.
You were just letting us know how we could contact you if we were interested in anything.
Well, we are. We're here. We are what's called the third sector interface. We're here to assist and provide support for third sector organisations, community groups and charities and social enterprises. And if anybody wants to get in touch with us, if they go on, we've just launched our new website. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it, Lorraine?
Yes, it is.
Right, okay. You read that off that book, didn't you, there? So you can get in touch with us. It's Eastern Berkshire Voluntary Action. We're at Townhead, although the offices are closed at the moment because of this pandemic. But our number is 0141 578 6680, or they can email us at info@edva.org.
Okay, so anything that anyone was interested in, that would be the best email address, would
yes,
it? And then it could be directed
if it's
to
volunteering or if it's assistance with any other groups for any reason at all, if they just get in touch with us, we will gladly help them, or we will pass them on to who we feel is the best organisation for them to discuss their concerns with.
That's great. Well, that's fantastic. Loads of great information there. Thank you very much for joining me today. Good luck with the rest of lockdown. Hopefully it won't go on too much longer, and hopefully we can get back to some sort of normality.
Okay, Liz, that was nice speaking to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye,
Q
guys.
Talks with Liz Bailey. Our access to audio programmes are sponsored by Impact Funding Partners, the R.S. McDonald Charitable Trust and the Suter Charitable Trust. To find out more about how to access our services, visit CueAndReview.com or email aaatl@CueAndReview.com. This programme was produced and presented by our Access to Audio Ambassador team leader, Liz Bailey, and edited by our Recruitment Training Officer, Alistair McPhee.